Mark Holmes here, of course, with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo and Joe Bear in the house. And as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, this literally does not work. So let's get open for business and let's wake up those football gods this morning. And you know, it is another Sunday morning without football. But you know what? This is one Sunday closer to the NFL season. Already next weekend is Memorial Weekend. We're already almost in June. This is now time to start getting everything together and teaching as much as possible, because tomorrow the players are back on the field, and this time they've expanded more of what they're doing. Now we're talking about phase 3 of OTAs. We have 9 practices, 9 of a possible 10. Okay, I've been talking about this for a while now to make sure we ram it into your head. But this is going to be very, very intense as far as installs for the playbook. Getting these guys up to speed so we don't have players that say it's too complex, it's too complicated. We won't be the dazed and confused defense that we had been. Hopefully, these guys are like a sponge and just sucking it all in and learning it and owning it and going to live it. Now, by now, I'm sure all of you have seen this picture right here of Julio Jones wearing Dallas Cowboys gear. You know, peace, hey, you know, smile. I don't know what to make of it. I don't really make anything of it because I don't see, for a couple of reasons, the Cowboys trading for Julio Jones. And here's my reasons behind this, okay? 1, Stephen Jones is a money miser. He does not like to spend a whole lot of money. He doesn't. And taking Julio Jones is more short-sighted of a move because of his age. You don't look at him as a long-term deal. 2-3 years at most. In the Cowboys, what they have done is they have reset the clock. They're now the 12th youngest team. They have, basically everybody under 30, with the exception of like Tyron Smith, and I think Zach Martin is 30. This team is a younger team that is continuing to tread younger. And the way they're looking at it is, and I know some Cowboy fans will be like, this year it's, Super Bowl or bust, and that may be for Mike McCarthy. But I believe the way they've been setting things up between Kellen Moore, we looked at the graphic last night of his play calling and stuff. He's up there with a lot of the really good play callers. I think that he is the Jason Garrett in waiting, so to speak, the anointed guy that they eventually want to be the head coach. And they're setting forth a young team. I also believe that, do they think if he's not ready, that Dan Quinn sure seems to be getting a lot of love in Dallas. A lot more love and publicity than Mike McCarthy. You would almost think that Dan Quinn was the head coach in Dallas. And with that, of course, he has a relationship with Julio Jones. With that, I still look at this and say, no. Receiver is still our strength. Now, I'm surprised that I haven't seen comments yet that say, these are the fantasy football people that'll say, oh, let's trade Michael Gallup for Julio Jones, man. Just straight up trade. That'll work for both teams. Atlanta will get rid of that high salary and all that. They'll get a young guy and blah, blah. Hey, okay, that's not going to happen either. That's not going to happen. Just not. I think Dallas likes where they are with the players that they have on this offense. And getting Julio Jones, which, anytime anybody is available, automatically everybody points to Dallas and says Dallas should go get that guy because, well, let's face it, you're going to get clicks. You're clicking on this now because you're seeing Julio Jones, and could he be coming to Dallas? Or should we trade Michael Gallup? Should we try and trade Michael Gallup? No, I don't think so. I'm good with that situation. The other thing that I look at with this team is, as we get through and we start teaching, the old saying that you can't teach a old dog, new tricks. They're just too grumpy. Yeah, it's like, listen, this is what you got. This is me. I'm an old dog. I'm set in my ways. I've done things a certain way in my life, and not going to change. Whereas the younger guys are like clay. They're malleable. They can be shaped and twisted and turned and taught to do what you want to do. So for that reason, I just don't see Julio Jones being traded here to Dallas. Cowboys don't want to give up draft capital, not for a position that they look at and say, we're good. Now, that's not to say that other teams, and we've heard that New England has had internal talks about trading for Julio Jones or another team. But for me, this brings up a bigger question actually for Atlanta. I know they drafted Kyle Pitts, but you have to still say that Julio Jones will be far away, making them a better team than without him. That Atlanta is looking towards the future if you start trading a Julio Jones, which to me also says that if somebody makes you an offer for Matt Ryan, then maybe, God, you probably can't hear that yet, but yesterday I did a little short video on the cicadas. As I go outside, I see more and more holes, and you start seeing the plants, covered every leaf with cicada, and the hum is getting louder. In fact, I can hear it right now. It's like this dull. I'm sure in the coming days that when I'm outside at the studio, that you'll start to kind of hear it, and I'm kind of wondering if I'm going to be able to use the studio outside there with the cicadas. Thus far, they're kind of staying away from the deck stuff. Sorry, I digress. But I think the Cowboys feel that they're good at the situation that they have with that. So back to the OTAs. We didn't have any last year, not in traditional sense. We had virtual reality ones. You got a laptop, and you got a coach that's talking to you. And I don't know how many of you have done Zoom calls for business or work and all that. You got people, 10, 20, 30 people and stuff that are in that Zoom call. You're sitting there. You might also have your phone that you're texting right now, on. You got your cup of coffee and things. You got your wife passing you notes and stuff like this, or mouthing. So you don't necessarily have full attention, not like that one-on-one contact. And certainly when you've seen what our practices have been like with Micah Parsons and our defensive line, and Dan Quinn, pulling his sleeves up and getting dirty with these guys, literally Dan Quinn out there running on the field to take the place of the nose guard, to demonstrate, to seeing him do the Karate Kid wax on, rip that mother humper, okay? You actually realize how important these OTAs are. These 9 practices. This is the last opportunity before they go to training camp. And make no mistake about it, training camp, I'm old school, and it's funny when I talk to you guys. I think about what we did in high school, where we actually went away for camp and had 2 fully padded live practices with a padded special teams practice in between, weight room and classroom all day long. And I look at the pros where the morning's a walkthrough. They don't really hit the sleds anymore. They don't tackle. They don't do Tennessee drills. They don't really get live. And I don't know how you can go from doing that to full on. To me, it's like if you were a NASCAR driver and you practice at 60 miles an hour all week, and then come, the Daytona 500, you're driving 200 miles an hour. You're going to have a lot of crashes. But it is what it is. We'll see what we're going to see. And I'm sure that the Julio Jones rumor will have a life of its own. Tomorrow, Skip and Shannon will be, oh, my God, the Dallas Cowboys. They get Julio Jones. They are a Super Bowl favorite with my Dallas Cowboys, with my quarterback, Dak Prescott. Oh, it'll be like, oh, here we go. Skip. You know, with that defense that you got, it don't matter. You bring Tom Brady up in there. The Dallas Cowboys ain't going to win nothing, Dak. I mean, come on, Skip. Yeah, the cicadas are making me crazy. But hey, it's another Sunday without football, but check it out. 109 days, 10 hours, 51 minutes, and 50 seconds until the kickoff of the 2021 season. Our coach here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report.
You did one hell of a job, and the only thing else I got to say is,